What's up, everybody? I see you guys in there. Joey, look at everybody that's in there. Can you see them?
There's
Look
so
at
many.
this is
Full house
awesome.
tonight.
Yes, full house. Sorry to keep you all waiting. We have a cool video we were teeing up, and it was analyzing, and wanted to be able to show you guys some of this cool stuff. Tonight's episode is around Better Bolt's Freedom Coast, and man, Joey, we got a chance to play at the warehouse today. That was so fun.
The warehouse. I'd call that like a candy store or something. There was so much to look at, and I wanted to open all the bins and open everything. And
I
I had
think
my
you
little
guys.
bag trying to fill it up, and yeah.
We're like, why are we off on SKU count? Joey Yates, were you around here? Before we get into it, I definitely want to show you guys this cool intro video that we have teed up for you all. But let's say what's up to the chats real quick. Look at this, man. Everyone's loving seeing you again, Joey. Right and dirty saying,
I
Joey.
want to ride with that guy. I know he's doing a big group
Yes.
ride this weekend, and we can't make it, but that's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
It's going to be awesome. For the folks out there that are wondering what we're talking about, Right and Dirty out in Arizona is having a group ride in Sedona. So if you're in that area, hit him up, check him out, Right and Dirty. He is out there and doing some fun things on the group ride. Let's see who else we got in here. As always, let's give him a whole shot award. Let's see. The whole shot award. Oh, Uncaged is saying, did I make the whole shot?
That guy was late. That was 6:30. Oh, yeah, he was like 6 minutes late.
6 minutes late, Mr. Uncaged MTB. I think, is it the defending champion is Trail Monster out of Lake Tahoe? Let's see who is the whole shot award winner tonight. Who is it, Joey? Who's the whole shot award winner? Who do we got? Trail Monster. He is the whole shot defending and reigning champion of the whole shot award. Trail Monster, first one to the comment at 6:30.
Trail Pimp.
Yes. Actually, wait. No. This is Neil. Sorry, this is Neil, Trail Monster out of Arizona. Congratulations. You are tonight's whole shot award winner. Look at who almost got it.
Yeah,
Emmanuel.
He definitely tried. He just missed it.
Yes, missed it. It said, dang, almost got the whole shot award. What's up, Emmanuel? Good to see you, brother. I love it. Trail Pimp is in the house from Lake Tahoe. There we go. He's giving Trail Monster some props with the fire. And he's saying, almost made it. Trail Pimp is saying, I am the Intercontinental Champion of the whole shot. Yes. Well, he was. He definitely was. He was. Oh my gosh. What's up to Bentonville in the house? Scott in Arkansas. Love to see you guys. God, man. I keep seeing footage of that new trail that out there in Bentonville. Burn Creek.
Oh, that trail looks great. Yes, that's new. They redid it a little bit and made it a little sketchier. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah,
I've been seeing some great videos coming out of Arkansas, like nonstop right now. I don't know what it is, my algorithm, or I need to go there or something. But that's all I've been watching. Yeah, we need to get out there.
Yeah, we got to get you out there, Joe. You're gonna love it. You're gonna not want to come home, and Carolyn is gonna be like, "Joe, you need to come home."
And we're gonna take her. Maybe we'll stay out there.
Yes, yeah. No, I think that's
you need to come home.
Yeah, Seth Bike Hacks. He's got his family out there. Seth, we see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, is he home now?
Yeah, he's been doing some good stuff out there though.
Yeah, he sure has. Oh man, that guy always puts up great content. I love it. I wonder what his family thought of the place. I'm sure they might want to maybe a second home. Who knows?
Second home, maybe an Airbnb. Who knows?
Yes, who knows what he's up to? But whatever it is, it's gonna be good. We got Michael Messer in the house. What's up? He says, "Yo, what's up, man? Good to see you." And check it out. We got Air Blair in the house. Thomas of Better Bolts and Freedom Coast is in the house. Yes. So sick. Yo, SoCal, what's up, Danny? He says, what is that? He says, I finally got my email saying the Fox Fork cap was in stock. Yeah. What'd you see?
We saw those today, didn't we?
We did.
Did we see those
today? Are sick.
Yes,
we sure did. They actually, and there's actually some new stuff that's dropping on their website as soon as tomorrow. So, and we're going to give you a sneak peek tonight on this opening video, which you guys are going to love. Brett Hall from Unspoken is in the house. He says, what's up, boys? And he also saying, "What's up, Mr. Scott?" Yes. What did you see that was not so good? Not so
Oh,
good?
next one right here, this next one. It
Oh, right and
says,
dirty.
oh, did you see it?
Yeah. Well, about that ride might be canceled by the rain. Oh wait, so is the storm maybe going in to Sedona? Mm.
Our storm's
Mm.
going over there.
Oh no. Oh no. But the good news is, well, maybe if it's so dry, like what we had today, the freaking luge that we did today just soaked up the rain and made it like a hero dirt festival, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it
Uh,
dumped last night for quite some time.
it sure did. It sure did. Well, without further ado, let's give you a sneak peek of what Joey and I got up to today because it was super fun. And here's a peek for you all. And then after this, we'll have our special guest, Mr. Thomas Seaman from Better Bolts, jumping on the show. So check this out. This is what we got up to today. All right, I can't believe it, Joey. We are here at Better Bolts and Freedom Coast. Dude, what do you think?
It's gonna be a good day.
It's going to be a great day.
Do a quick shop tour here. This is our shop. We got all of our materials staged here, as you can see. I'll walk you through our TRP levers. They get cut into 2 pieces, and then they go in here for the second op, and then they have a third op where they get a tapped hole and a slot put in as well.
Can you do that in 20 minutes, Joey?
It basically takes it into fine chips, like maybe back there you can see. So we have all different sizes of adapters. You can see these ones are for a quick release skewer.
Here at Freedom Coast, and the good thing about this is I'm getting some of these sick levers installed on the decoy. They come in a variety of colors, but check this out. This is all CNC machined, and check out the color on that. It's gonna match pretty close to the i9 colors that I have on the bike already.
We actually hand finish all of these levers, so after they're done with the machine, here we will either Scotch-Brite for any of these colors to give them like a matte kind of brushed finish, and then for our gold and silver, we actually hand polish them up to chrome before either gold goes sent to ano, and then silver will just get an engraving and go out, and then we actually also powder coat these ourselves as well. So we'll sandblast the metallic flake ones and powder coat them on our own. We brought the reach in 12 millimeters from stock. That kind of gives you a more relaxed lever position. If you kind of try on your own, if you hold your finger straight out, your forearm will feel pretty flat. Forearm kind of relaxed, you'll see your fingers will come into a more relaxed kind of crook, and that's where we have you positioned with the 12 millimeter reach closer to the bar.
No, yeah. That's so relaxed.
Yeah, I love that.
That feels good. Yeah, that hook's really nice.
We organize everything in the system with a letter and a number, and so when the employee comes to package an order, they'll see, okay, it's 5 count of A270, and when I look at that, I know what every single one of these bolts is because started the company, been doing this for 5 years now, so I know that that's a pod for the new SRAM side of things. But to the average user, this is axis, and this is the new transmission pod. They look very similar, but the thread pitch is different. Right now, here's your YT parts. Over here is all the various specialized shock bolts. These are Levo battery bolts there that kind of lock your battery in at the bottom of your frame. Over here, we hop into Santa Cruz, linkage and shock bolts. We have Ibis over here. So we've really, covered a lot of brands. Here are Fox top caps. These fit on Fox 34, 36, 38, and 40. A new product it'll launch in the next 2 days. The 34 is just a little bit smaller on the air side.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the colors on that.
Yeah, so that'll be available in 11 colors. We got two of our new colors here will be the Stealth Gray that matches Freedom Coast Stealth Gray.
Nice.
And then the Champagne Gold that matches Kashima really well, and TRP Gold really well.
And when will this be on the website to order?
Tomorrow.
Okay, okay.
So the bars get loaded into here, and it basically takes off about a 1/2 inch for each piece, and they get fed down into here. And the various tooling points, we'll have a thread roller in here, we'll have a broach, and a couple different machining ops within here. and then it gets spit into this conveyor belt.
And it's just like our other mounts, so once it's in there, it's in there. You can see this thing's rigid.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the table shaking, not the mount.
That's amazing.
And then it works very similar, just like our other rack, where it's a friction lock. So there's no teeth in here, there's no wear parts. As soon as you close this thing, it's clamped. Tighten these back down and tighten that thing like that. And that's it.
Wow,
your bike's in there.
Nice. So if this was like how we had it in the back of your truck, the back tire would be up against the cab.
Yeah, so
this would be locked down.
This could be the bulkhead of your other truck bed.
Oh man, dude, these levers feel amazing.
So good, and
So
they look good too.
Let's go hit the luge or something, huh?
The luge.
I can't believe we got such a sick tour.
That was insane.
That was insane. What a fun day.
So fun.
All right, top of the luge. Here we go. Nice. How'd those new Freedom Coast levers treat you?
No
brake pump?
No brake pump. Yeah,
That's nice.
That 1/2 inch, 12 millimeters made a difference.
Wow. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, our guest of the evening, Mr. Thomas Seaman from Better Bolts. What's up, Thomas?
Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you again. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Dude, thanks for letting us come to the warehouse and play around today. That was a sick, fun day. Oh, so fun.
Time flies by. There we have a lot of stuff to show off. So a lot of moving parts in that machine shop.
Yeah, lots and lots. I kept looking at Joey. I'm like, oh, don't take anything. Don't touch that. Don't push that button.
I just kept moving bolts from one tray to another. So yeah, that's gonna be fun for you guys.
Yeah, this Black Friday sale.
Right? Why are all the SKUs all messed up? Who was here? Oh man, this is awesome. I saw Johnny Yu out of Miami, Florida, just came in the house. What's up, Big Johnny?
Yeah,
He says,
Johnny.
look at all those bolts. Yes, heck yeah, definitely. And loving the colors. They said, I love all the colors. Yeah, there is so much stuff going on there with Better Bolts and Freedom Coast, new products that you guys have. But let's take it all the way back, because I know this has been a labor of love for you, Thomas, for the past 5 years. But prior to the company starting up, you were moto and then into mountain biking. Is that kind of how your story? Tell us about the love story for the mountain biking. When did you get into mountain biking and how?
Yeah, rode bikes as a kid, but didn't really have somebody to introduce me to like the core side of the sport. So once I, 15, 16 years old and could afford a real mountain bike, really got into the sport that way. Born and raised in San Clemente, where there's a lot of surf, mountain bike, and moto, and a lot of trails have popped up in that area. So yeah, just kind of cut my teeth at the dog park and kind of got into mountain biking that way on a trance, and then went the downhill route. Always kind of used it for staying in shape on the moto, but now it's just been the last 15 years have been all mountain bike for me.
And then when you were out there riding bikes and doing it for moto, was at that point in time, mountain biking was kind of just to keep you in shape for moto. So were you racing in moto? Were you in the race series, or was that for fun? Or
yeah, more for fun. Would have loved to have a racing career out of that, but yeah, more just a fun hobby for me, whether it was racing around the desert. I was working at Trans World at the time, that owned like Trans World Motocross and Surf and Bike and a bunch of different magazines. So just always been a big action sports guru on my side.
nice, man. I love that. I remember that magazine. I used to buy that magazine all the time. Trans World. It was like Thrasher and then Trans World, and so good. That was so good. Over here, I have a question for you. As we're building out your story, but UO SoCal is asking, does the new gray Fox cap match the silver TRP brakes better than the silver cap?
I mean, you guys maybe saw today, the stealth gray on that gray TRP looks really good. Some of the TRPs do have like a little bit of a hint of blue, and just the darker stealth gray looks better and kind of pulls out the blue tones a little bit better, in my opinion. So yeah, I think the stealth gray, if you're going TRP silver, looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely looks awesome. And you guys were busy today getting ready for the Black Friday sale. And here we are doing our YouTube thing, the cameras and running around. thanks for letting us do it.
It's fun to show stuff off. And US SoCal, if you want to just shoot an email over to support@betterbolts.com. I have all those parts in stock, so I can take a photo of stealth gray and the polished silver against silver TRP brakes for you. So shoot me a reminder. I can hop on that tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Joey Yates is saying stealth gray. Stealth gray. My brain was going, all of these are awesome. These are all awesome. Oh, so you were now by trade, you're a engineer by academia, or what was your job before Better Bolts?
So I went to business school, and then I was in software engineering as well. So did Concordia University and UCI, and was working on websites a lot. And the last 5 years I've been kind of hopping on the other side of things. And Chris, who you guys saw in the video, is more of our engineering and machining side of things. So where I run the business side of the business, and websites and e-commerce, we're a direct-to-consumer brand. I run that side of things, and that way I can hand off machining specifics more over to his side of things.
Got it. So a lot of the skills that you got from business school, web development, things that you were doing, really transferred over into the Better Bolts. And then how did you start Better Bolts? Because Better Bolts was, from what I understand, Better Bolts existed prior to Freedom Coast, before you guys became partnership. How did you even think of I'm going to start Better Bolts? Where did that idea even come from?
Yeah, I was working for a small startup in Irvine, and we got acquired by a company out of India. And all of a sudden I was traveling back and forth to India a bunch, and had a little nest egg from that company being acquired. And I actually went on a trip in 2017 to Whistler. And I was lucky enough, it was with the Transworld Moto guys, and Jeremy McGrath was on the trip. For anybody that doesn't know, he's kind of like the greatest of all time when it comes to Supercross.
And congratulations to Jeremy. Recently got his driver's license, I saw.
Motorcycles license.
Motorcycles license. Could you imagine the folks at the DMV like, yeah, you just got your motorcycles license. Be careful. I hope you know how to ride that thing. Little do they know who they're talking to.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
So we were like, there was a couple places to get titanium bolts, but it was like you'd order and they'd never show up. Maybe it was a drop shipping thing. It was really difficult to pin down. And then it was just really the standard M5 and M6. So maybe if you were lucky, you could outfit your stem and your top cap and your calipers. And he was kind of joking around that like, yeah, I used to always have titanium sitting around for my works bikes, and you guys would steal them. We were kind of with a lot of his old Havasu buddies. And he's like, yeah, it'll somehow end up on all of your bikes. And talking to some other mechanic buddies, they're like, oh yeah, the titanium goes from the race bikes that you see out at Supercross, and then it gets recycled down to all the mechanics bikes or practice bikes, then the mechanics bikes, and the stuff just kind of lives on. So I got kind of the idea there. Didn't have a huge like, oh, I want to start my own company, but I was a little bit sick of traveling back and forth to India, and had a little bit of time on my hands. This was pre-kids, and decided to kind of start it out in my garage. So I started learning everything I could know about titanium, going to local machine shops, getting things made, learning a lot about the process, launched the business with just silver, saved up some money, put the 10 grand down for the minimum orders you need at these shops, and then just grew the business from there. And I think we all joked around today about The Office and the Michael Scott paper company, and I was just kind of poking fun at myself on the business side of things. Like, I think if I had $100,000 to start the business, I wouldn't be here today. Having the 10 grand and having to be like really focused on, if I made one wrong move or ordered something wrong, it could have not worked out well. I actually found a bag of bolts the other day from that first order that I did like
Wow.
a tapered head for the SRAM bolts that hold on your levers, and they're like a T25 kind of a rotor bolt looking head, and those never sold. So
Oh,
I'm glad I
man.
didn't, go all in on those. So yeah, it's just been
Wow.
kind of like listen to customers and continue to grow. And I didn't take a salary for a long time, so I was able to kind of double down every single time that we'd make money and put it back into the business. And then yeah, about a year ago, jumped in full time once I met Chris, and he could kind of take over a lot of the machining and R&D and things like that.
Dang, man. Did it feel scary when you were launching this business, or did you like totally believe in it from the get-go? Like, where was your mindset there?
We just had our like over 30,000th order. And so
Wow.
I thought it'd be this small thing for a really niche group of people. And then where we have, like, we joke around that better bolts is the last upgrade. Like, you do everything else, then you do titanium bolts. During COVID, there were a lot of bolt failures across, different bikes, and maybe somebody was trying to wrench on a bike that shouldn't have been, or that had no experience, but their shop was backed up for 3 weeks, and they're like, no, I'm going to try to adjust my derailleur. They'd snap a bolt. So it just kind of sparked up this other side of a business for us that was replacement bolts for people that break something or have a bolt failure, uh,
Mm.
or they can't get an OE bolt. And then a lot of the OEs had these really long lead times from overseas where they had a bolt issue. They needed to order 10,000 more to solve it. And it was going to be 6-month wait. So we
Wow.
were able to fire up, typically we can launch a bolt from idea to the customer's hands in 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
So that was a really big jump starter for us during COVID, that we had material, we had places we could run parts, and we could get it up on our website really quick.
That's cool. That's cool to find those niches and take advantage of those, especially during that time when you're able to come through for a lot of folks that just needed a part, not 10,000 parts. You could fire them off and get them done and made here in good old Orange County, Southern California.
Yeah.
Kept it
Yeah.
home.
We're still manufacturing some of our parts overseas. Some of the more simple parts, washers, some rotor bolts, when we get into a pinch of just running low on inventory. So it's same processes, same machines. Everything comes in on our end and goes through the same QC process and has the same lifetime warranty. I think on the Freedom Coast side, 100% USA made, USA material, and Better Bolts is striving towards that goal within the next year or two. So
Dang, that's cool. That's really cool. Have a question here from Trail. Actually, Trail Monster just popped in. $5 donation to the show. Thank you so much, Neil. He says, cool intro video. Mark, Joey, Thomas, got to finish this tomorrow. Bedtime here. Got to be up at 3 a.m. to be at
Oh,
work at the range. Great stuff, man. Dude,
thanks.
well, hopefully, when you're listening to this the next day, having your cup of coffee while you're at work, Trail Pimp, congratulations. Or Trail Monster, congratulations again on the Whole Shot Award. Yes, this is your day. Enjoy your day, my bro. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Thomas, we have a question here from Trail Pimp. He says, is the Freedom Coast lever shape inspired by the Magura HC1 and HC3 lever? Are you going to make levers for Magura brakes? A lot of Magura fans in this group, he says.
yes, definitely. I'd say more on the HC3 side of things. It'd be really cool to put some type of adjustment like they have in that HC3 lever. The one bummer with that lever is you crash or you fall on it. I think it's like $130 for a single side. So
Ooh,
that one kind of justifies our $119 price tag, which will go on sale here in a couple days. But so if you want
nice.
to snag up some levers with our Black Friday sale, it's a great time to buy. But yeah, we want to roll out more brake levers. We get a ton of requests for SRAM. We get a ton of requests for Magura, and it's definitely something that's on our product roadmap. We're just knocking out this bike rack, and then we'll be jumping into more levers, and then yeah, maybe someday a full braking system as we learn more about the wants and needs of riders. I think when it comes to Magura, that HC3, some brands are doing like a dial where you can adjust the bite point, which is really cool. And then on the SRAM side of things, like people love or hate those brakes, or they want them to feel a certain way. And there is a cam in there, which gives us a lot of options where maybe we could launch 3 different cams sell it as 3 cams, and you could kind of dial in which cam you like the most. I've seen a couple companies selling the cam, but not the lever. And then with that SRAM lever, there's some options to have it kind of flip back as well. You have to have a spring in there with how that system works. So we're kind of weighing the options of adding kind of a feature that, keeps you from breaking a lever.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and one thing that I learned about you guys today, and Joey, I'm sure you saw this as well, is that you guys don't just willy-nilly rush into things. I mean, if you're gonna move into something, you've looked at it 1,000 different ways, and the one thing that I learned today is the tolerance on things, like, where is the standard deviation? How far out? How far like, it's crazy to think of everything that goes into products that you guys are making, that you guys have thought of everything and looked at everything. So I'm sure with like a Magura or SRAM, you guys are working on it now, but you probably have to look at it like 10,000 times before you put something out there. So I'm sure
Yeah,
that's where
there's
you
some
guys are.
massive, undertaking when you're making parts to fit other people's parts. We might get 3 sets of brakes, and those tolerances might be pretty close. But yeah, when we're making a lever fit within someone else's, you know, system, yeah, the tolerances are sometimes out of your control, and you gotta like engineer to those tolerances. So yeah, you guys
Dang.
see all the gauges and all the QC that
Yeah.
we have throughout the shop.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it was cool to see. It definitely was confidence inspiring when you're buying these products. It's not just something that's like, oh yeah, I'm pushing 2 buttons, ready to go. It's there's so much you guys that goes into these before they even get into your hands. It's incredible. Even when things get out of the machine and it's within the parameters of tolerance, there's even like another set of eyes that check it. You guys have these tools, and literally one side says green, like they can go in, and one side is red that says out. So it's on top of that, that's insane, which is cool. Air Blair is in here. What's up, Blair? He says, 4.99 to the show. He says, thank you, Thomas and Better Bolts, Freedom Coast, for all you do for the MTB community. Yeah. So Coach Blair, I learned this today, which is very cool, is that you guys are a sponsor of the mountain bike team. So you guys are already giving back to the community. Can you talk a little bit about that partnership?
Yeah, we love supporting local racing, and we were invited out to that event to see what it was all about. And Troy Lee was actually there. It's like, when do you get a chance to go sit and talk to Troy Lee? And he
Right?
dropped a little note of like, an important part of business is growing at home before you kind of
Mm,
really expand. So that's why we're on these types of podcasts. That's why we're inviting, people into our shop to go on rides to, um, you know, support the local community in that way. So yeah, Blair reached out and said, "Hey, we're looking for sponsors for the team, and it's a small financial, donation from us, and we get to go, give some water bottles to the kids and go for a ride with them, and have them by the shop and have a barbecue." So it's a win-win for everybody. It's ticks the social box for us, ticks the workout, and it ticks the donation side of things of growing within the community.
That's so fun. Yeah, Blair is such a good dude. He's got a lot of good things going, and also the Laguna Beach Bike Festival is in the hands of Mr. Air Blair. So that's going to be coming out here in the next year as well. So lots of good things going in Southern California. And speaking of SoCal, that's where you guys are located. You guys are local boys out here, which is not only will they be fulfilling the orders for you guys for all the parts that you need for your bike or upgrades or levers, but you'll also see them out on the trails, which is cool. I mean, we could have literally ridden to the luge from the warehouse today. It was close. What was it,
It
Joey?
was
Like three
close.
miles?
Yeah, it wasn't that far at all. It was very close. Yeah.
Pretty epic.
And they've
Lunch
got
break.
there's so many good trails next to their warehouse. It's amazing.
So many, so many. Um, so as you're building this out right now in the storyline, you're solo. You're doing this better bolts on the side. You had $10,000 to put into it. It seems to be at this point in the story, it's paying for itself, or are you still pitching in to keep this thing going? And are you still in the garage? Like where are you now in this part of the story?
Yeah, it was 2019. It was in the garage. It was picking up steam, and um, yeah, doing a couple $100 a day, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and starting to grow. And yeah, and then COVID hits, which was working for an ad agency at the time, doing some like solutions engineering, and um, had a new kid on the way. So
Oh
stuff
my
started to
gosh.
get really busy at that point.
Yeah.
We were all stuck at home with COVID, but still kind of grinding it out there. Started to get some help at that point. An individual, Jeff, that I know you guys know from over at YT, started helping me with some customer service. His girlfriend started to help me ship, and started to kind of work with a couple new companies that were manufacturing for us just because COVID and shutdown, and it was hard to get product made at that point. Um, yeah. And then from there, it just kind of continued to pick up steam. And fast forward 2 years and start to need to have those conversations of like, I don't have the bandwidth to do this. I need to get a bigger space. I'd love to have customers buy the shop, love to do installs. So Chris and I, who Chris is the founder of Freedom Coast, he was just starting Freedom Coast, hadn't started selling stuff online yet. We get introduced to each other, and I kicked up a website for him. He started helping me out with figuring out some of the machining. He was working at an aerospace machining company, a machine shop, and man, over the last year and a half of knowing each other, it's just been like kind of just made sense to partner together. I was doing more for Freedom Coast. We were like, no, how do we do this? Do you own 10% of my company and I own 10% of yours? And what happens when it's crunch time and we need to work 100% on one versus the other? And it just made sense to become partners at that point. So we're co-CEOs of the parent company that owns Better Bolts and Freedom Coast now. We're in
Nice.
our own
Which is
space that you guys came to today. And
yeah.
yeah, right in Rancho Santa Margarita.
Wow. So you guys merged both companies under the corporate umbrella of Boost Manufacturing, and you guys are co-CEOs of the two companies together. As you were building this out, and I think this is always cool for everyone who's dreaming of doing their own thing. And it sounds like you had a pretty good job. You had a nice degree there. So the level of getting the ship close to the dock is a little bit higher, which is a lot of times for a lot of us folks is the golden handcuffs, right? You have a nice job. And so maybe you're not as hungry to do something on the side. And when you do something, you really got to get that thing up there, especially when you have a family on the way to jump ship. And so with COVID happening, it sounds like it really helped kind of like push a little bit more. But was there a point where you felt comfortable jumping ship full time, or are you still juggling both work and the business? Where are you there?
No, it was the clear indicator to me was meeting Chris and learning that like 1 + 1 can equal 3 or more.
Mm-hmm.
We got Carter on board, which was awesome. You guys met Carter today. He's
Super
like
cool, dude.
running machines, doing customer service. So once I knew that there were two other people, and we have two additional employees that you guys didn't meet today that help out with shipping and with running the machines. But once I knew I had two other people that it was going to be their main focus, it made it a lot easier to jump ship and leave my other job. Not a huge risk taker. I've never really been a risk taker, but that made it a lot easier. And then, man, the other thing was I worked at a startup at one point, and I was talking with the CEO, and I was telling him, "Oh, I'd love to be a business owner one day," and he's like, "Yeah, but you might never have an idea." And so,
Mm.
where I felt Better Bolts was always this awesome idea. I didn't know it would be enough to fully support, my lifestyle and living in California and things like that. So, uh, yeah, that was motivation to like, okay, it's a good enough idea, jump in. And then also the Freedom Coast side of things is awesome as well. And we're growing that business. And I think there's a awesome space for USA made bicycle parts
Mhm.
for enthusiasts of cycling on the high end side of things. So
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that's
definitely.
risk out. Just knowing how core your audience is and other audiences um, around this industry.
Yeah. It also says something beautiful when you're in your passion, so you can completely understand like the pulse of the marketplace. You guys being enduro and XC and road, you guys have that. But I know at core you're like enduro, and so it's cool to be at the same pulse as the market, which is great within your passion. We got what's up? Colorado Kid is in the house. He says, here to say the Freedom Coast levers are a must for TRP brakes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Love to hear that.
100%. 100%. As you guys saw in the intro video, and we got to experience it today, the difference between the stock lever and the Freedom Coast lever is that 12 millimeter, like, what did you call it? A drop where it sits, or it's closer to the handlebars by half an inch, 12 millimeters, half an inch. And we actually took them out to the luge after we saw you today, and it was freaking amazing. It's no brake pump, and I mean, that trail's fast, and it was my first time on it, so I'm a little more careful of a rider when I'm getting to know a trail, and then I let it loose the more I get comfortable. But I was thinking I was gonna have like arm pump going down that thing, trying to keep up with Mr. Joey Yates here, Mr. Speedy Gonzalez, and I got to the bottom, and I felt fine. I felt fine. And Joey, how did you feel with yours?
Oh, same. Yeah, felt perfect. Like I
Yeah.
said, I really like the extra little kick out on them where your finger just rests in there, just like perfect.
Yeah. Cool trigger feel. And to the question that we had earlier, the idea, now I think that may have been, was it your idea, Thomas, or was it Chris's idea to build the levers with that 12 millimeter drop to them?
Yeah, that was Chris, and then our engineer Jiri. So Jiri was a big TRP brake fan and kind of found that he wanted it to reach a little bit closer in, and yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, that brake system's gorgeous, and it's the best on the market in our opinion. But then it's this cast lever on there, so that one there's an aesthetic, there's colors, and just the performance upgrade of that lever is really, really cool.
Yeah, it is so cool. Joey's popping up something right here. Oh yeah, here they are. Here's the pictures of them right there. 11 different colors. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we're probably up to that at this point. Maybe
Yeah.
9, maybe 11. Yeah. And you can
Man.
really see, if you look at that photo, like at first on the champagne gold one, there was, people were saying, hey, can you add some texture to the lever? And we were actually sitting there on the buffing wheel, like making sure that area was smooth. And then we're like, yeah, we went back and forth. Like, should we put dimples in? Should we put some speed holes in? Should we laser engrave some texture there? And then we looked at a set that just coming off the machine, and we're like, the machine lines really leave a good groove. So we ended up just kind of leaving that on after getting some feedback from some riders.
That's so crazy that you mentioned that, because Joey Yates said something about that earlier today. Joey, you were mentioning, you're like, oh, it's got a groove in here.
Yeah, I like to have a little bit of texture there. It just makes it feel like you're not going to slip, or you can kind of just feel it. It's just a good indicator where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, your body doesn't touch the bike in many places. So it's your hands, your fingertips, and your feet. So it's, if you're pedaling, obviously your butt. But when you're descending, there's only a couple contact points. It's really important that you feel confidence, and you can really feel those spots. When your gloves start to sweat through, or it's a wet ride, you can still really feel that hook and the texture within the hook.
Yeah, I like that. And it was crazy when Carter was teaching us today about putting our finger out, like we were trying to reach. And when you put your finger out right there, you really feel your forearm just engages. And then when you relax that finger down to cover the brakes, your forearm disengages. So it's comfortable. Should have thought of that. Should have thought of that myself. Damn.
You noticed that when you were just riding too, just it resting there. It wasn't like it was stretched out. It was just comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. And probably broke a record today on how many times I pulled brake on the luge. So hey, I could tell you guys, it works. It works. I did not get arm pump at all.
You had that big red glowing disc on the back of your bike.
Yeah. Did you get a new brake rotor installed? No, it's just glowing hot. US SoCal's asking you, Thomas, are you going to branch out to other industries? I'm assuming he's talking about the levers there.
Yeah. So on the Freedom Coast side, other industries, obviously we're making bike racks, and a lot of that's focused around the van and adventure vehicle market. So I could see us branching out into a lot of overland type products there. You see these go fast campers, you see people starting to put L-track into truck beds and vans and trailers. So we're going to be, coming out with a lot of products for the kind of adventure vehicle market, focused around bringing your bike on that adventure vehicle with you. And then on the Better Bolt side, it'll be we're sitting and waiting for what that other industry, what enough people talk to us about what they want. We get a lot of requests for Harley bolts, motocross
Mm.
bolts, knife
Oh,
bolts for holding a knife together, like a Benchmade, nice premium knife,
yeah.
RC cars. So really, like you said earlier, we're enduro riders, and we make a good product and we're able to market to enduro riders because that's what we are. It's the same thing with the levers. Like it's a product that we're using. So I think it just is going to take like one of those industries of either me, Chris, Carter, or one of our employees is very into something and somebody wants to jump in and own it and be that product manager. So where I'm kind of the product manager for Better Bolts, Carter is kind of running some of the rack stuff. Chris is running machining and the levers. We all have that passion in that certain particular spot. So I think the passion will drive that, but also requests from customers.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, that's great. Get the feedback and act on it for sure. Listening to the marketplace. Um, Trail Pimp with the super sticker. He's throwing money at us. Look at this, Thomas. We got we got 99 cents right there. He's making it rain. And then another one. He did two. Trail Pimp, you did two. Did you know you did two? I can Venmo you back $1 if you didn't realize you wanted to do two. But thank you for doing that. Also, Trail Pimp is saying, wow, the sparkly ones look. Oh my God. I am totally like messing that up. What is that word? Prismatic?
Yeah, we get that one is from Prismatic Powders is the company. It's like a
Yeah.
metallic flake. We get a lot of people that are like, that's Bass Boat Sparkle, We're like, oh, yeah. You just hear all these funny names for colors. So
I I thought this was cool today when we saw it in the warehouse because it was overcast when we were trying to look at it outside. And then I think it was either Thomas, it was you or Carter. Somebody took their phone light and shined it on there and moved the light across it. And you could, yeah, you just see it like
Yeah.
come to life.
it just
That was
lights
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And all these colors that we're looking at currently, I know we're heading into Black Friday, but as we stand up today, are they all in stock?
Yes, every single color is in stock at the moment, which is awesome. Kind of a
Nice.
first for us. Every time we launch a color, stuff just flies off the shelf, and maybe we'll launch purple, and then all of a sudden, all the orange sell out. So it's
Yes.
that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, colors can be. You guys saw all the work that goes into colors today. It's a lot, but I think it's so worth it if you're going to be shelling out some money for a product that's going to increase the performance of your bike. It's cool that it increases the look of the bike as well.
Yeah, definitely. What do you see as consumer wise? Who are the types of people that are purchasing and what are they doing with these products? Is it individualizing your bike? Is it dropping weight on the bike? Is it what is it?
Yeah, on the Better Bolt side of things, I think it's the warranty and the weight and the performance of the bolts. Like we make a lot of changes to stock hardware. Maybe let's say a Santa Cruz pivot bolt. It's this 5 millimeter hex. They round out pretty easy. We bumped it up to 6. We make it out of titanium. Now all of a sudden you have a lifetime warranty bolt that doesn't round out. And there's nothing worse than you're on a bike trip and if you twist a bolt a little far and it snaps, your bike trip's over. You're not going to find that proprietary hardware at a Donalds or a hardware store or even McMaster. And you're definitely not going to find it at a bike shop. People just don't have that in stock. So I think sometimes it's just knowing that you have this like really good piece of hardware. And if you ever did have an issue, we can overnight stuff to you on a
Oh,
cycling trip or whatever that might be. So
damn.
yeah, we've definitely saved some trips where someone's like, I just pulled up to Sedona and I was adjusting my seat height and I broke my seat post bolt. And so we're like, okay, overnight it to Thunder Mountain Bikes. It'll be there tomorrow.
Dang.
So
Dang.
trips. Those
Or
those are
maybe-
those are the best. We're taking it to the UPS and we just feel like we're saving the day. It's
Heck,
cool.
heck yeah. I can imagine that person's heart rate like, ah.
And then what we see a lot on the Freedom Coast side of things is either somebody spent all this money to build a van and the solution that they thought was going to work to hold their bike within the van is just kind of flimsy and bolted together pieces of sheet aluminum. And so we can really finish off a premium build. And on the lever side, sometimes people upgrade to TRP brakes and they're wildly different than what they've been used to just with that lever position. And it's like, makes them feel good about that upgrade where they're like, yeah, it costs a little more to get it perfect, but now I'm in love with my TRP brakes. So we see a lot of that.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, let's talk about a little bit for the van folks out there, because that seemed to be a market that's really taking off for obviously in the mountain bike community, but for the bike rack option that you guys offer. And what I liked about what we saw today is like there is the bike rack where if the van people don't have a bed or anything like that, they don't need like to make a full on garage, you have a solution for that. But for the folks who built out a bed or cargo space and the bike is too tall and you got to take off that front wheel, you guys create a solution for that. Can you talk a little bit about those two products?
Yeah, definitely. So Chris and I went to the Adventure Van Expo in San Juan Capistrano. If you guys are ever interested in adventure van vehicles, that's like the mecca to kind of go to. It's right there, kind of at the base of San Juan Trail at Ortega and Antonio. And it's just all these adventure van builders. And we walked around, we had the first prototype of that wheel on rack, and we're like, man, everybody is taking their wheel off and they're putting their bikes on a tray and they're sliding it out. And not only are they putting one bike in there, they're putting like 4 bikes in and they're staggering them all and they're turning bars and squeezing them all close to each other. So we kind of looked at what was on the market and we're like, oh man, we can make something pretty cool here. And this is when I had first met Chris. And that night he sent me like a CAD drawing of it. And I'm like, oh, wow, that looks amazing. And then the next day he had a 3D printed version. And that's where I was just like, I got to work with this guy. This is awesome. And so, that product's just been amazing. All these people come to us and they're like, oh, I need it to where it can rotate to this angle so that I can turn the bars and stack. But once you start turning bars, what people don't realize is you turn the bars and the forks start to turn. Bike's sitting at an angle, and it's really not an ideal solution there. So what we allow is you can put the bikes fork to fork, but you can caster the mounts forward, backward, a bunch of different ways. So you can put the 4 bikes fork to fork, but have them all at different levels coming down. And you can get 4 bikes really close to each other, in a 36-inch space, fit
Oh,
3
dang.
in there.
So with the movement of that bike rack, you can stagger them just within that space right there.
Yeah. So like you saw the
Amazing.
camper shell on my truck today, I can get 3 bikes back there all facing the same direction. I could probably do 5 bikes if I face some forward and some backward.
Dang. Wow. That's pretty cool. And that's measured out. And of course it's measured out. It's measured out 1,000 times before you guys even sent that off. But that's a great solution. Those are for the folks that are taking off the front wheel, trying to put their bike in the garage of the van. And then you guys got something new that just literally came in today. And I believe people can pre-order that on the Freedom Coast website. And what was that, Thomas? What were we looking at there?
Yeah, that's our new Delta rack. So it's a wheel on rack solution, and it'll be kind of the birth of our bike rack. As you guys know it, we plan to launch a hitch rack in the future, but this is for vans that have L-track. L-track is logistic track, and it's what all the airplanes use to attach the seats to the plane. And the van market has kind of adopted L-track as its mechanism for attaching seats and a bunch of different things within the van. So if you walk through a standard, Storyteller or Revel van, you're going to see this L-track all over the place. Wow, and what's so cool about this is Chris was actually making, you guys saw how the base screwed in and you just did that. So pretty much everything else on the market, you need to have like a 17 millimeter wrench and you bolt things down to that L-track. But Chris was making that little anchor plate that you guys saw today for Boeing, for them to attach the seats in the airplane. And so it's open source, and we use that, brought it over to our racking system, and that's how we have that dial. It pulls that anchor plate up, and it pulls our rack down and sandwiches it, and you don't need any tools. It just goes hand tight. So we'll have a bunch of other accessories coming out for L-track as well. So we're definitely all in on L-track, and we sell L-track as well. So we have 12-inch, we have 8-inch, 12-inch, 24, 36, 48, and we can also do custom lengths as well. So another big part of our business is going to van builders and saying, hey, we have this premium product. If you guys know that you have 20 different lengths, we can cut it to specific lengths for people. So let us know the inch that you need. If your truck bed is, 42 inches wide and you want L-track all against there, it can be an awesome solution there. We riv nut it into the truck bed, and you can attach tie down hooks in there. I'll have a bike there and a cooler next to it that's all tied down to the L-track. So yeah, L-track's an awesome solution for adventure vehicles.
Yeah, that makes sense. And those L tracks look nice. I mean, what did you make them out of?
Yeah, so L-track, you can find it a lot on like Amazon, and typically you have to buy like 8-foot pieces, and it's all kind of trashed and scratched. So what we did is we went to a mill that was selling this product, and we found a really premium version of it, USA made, and we put holes every 4 inches. And then within our in our deburring department that you guys saw today, we line grain it, and then we send it off to hard anodizing. So hard anodizing doesn't fade in the sun and it doesn't scratch. So you can run accessories across this all day, and it won't scratch on our end. So yeah, really high end looking product.
Nice. Yes. For the folks that are installing that L track in the back of the truck and using their truck like a truck, it's that L track's going to survive. That's really cool. And I remember how sturdy that was when Chris put the bike rack on the L track and he was like grabbing it and shaking it. Like the whole table was shaking, but the L track was so firm. And he did all that by his hand. And then we were going to attach a bike to it. So he flipped it around and he was able to undial that and flip it around in like 15 seconds. It was fast, which was nice because if it was bolted in, it would have had to take tools and everything else. So that was really impressive, man. That was really impressive. And that thing goes on sale starting. Is it on sale now?
Yes, it's on
It
pre-sale
is.
now for $50 off as our special pre-sale pricing. That'll run through Cyber Monday.
Okay. And when if somebody were to order that tonight, for example, how long would it take for them to receive it? Will they receive it before the holidays on the pre-order, or
No,
what
so
does that look
it's
like?
in production now, and
Mhm.
orders will begin shipping in the order which they were received on the first of the year.
Okay, gotcha. Man, cool. That's pretty cool. And for the folks for anything else, like the one where you take off the front tire or better bolts or levers, I thought this was impressive. If and we kind of made a fun Instagram reel out of it today. Joey placed an order, but literally, if somebody places an order, what's the amount of time it takes for someone to place an order for you guys to fulfill and ship that off?
Yeah, right now we're at 10, 11 hours. So we get stuff shipped out right away.
Dude, that's insane. That's insane. And it's the 3 of you guys in there, and, yeah, we saw the computer today when we placed our orders, and it was just like, "How? How? How do these guys keep up with all that stuff?"
Mine was
That's
like
ins
10 or 11 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, if you do local pickup right there, it can be very, very quick, which was fun. Thomas, from the Better Bolt side, where are you guys looking to move to next? I mean, I see obviously, we saw all of those SKUs, and, we heard, like, what's the most popular SKU, but for the folks listening to the podcast, what are the most popular SKUs right now that are being ordered?
Yeah, rotor bolts, brake pad retention bolts, attaching your calipers to the frame. It's just really easy ways to drop weight around the bike and add a little bit of flair. And once you add one of our bolts and our premium PVD colors, you kind of start to notice all your other bolts look a little rusty or dingy. So kind of always starts with the brakes and the cockpit. We our goal is to kind of own the cockpit. So as more dropper levers come out, as more drive train systems come out and shifters, we're really trying to own the cockpit there. So those are some future goals for us.
Nice. And I saw obviously a ton of colors. What seems to be the most popular color, like when you're looking at the cockpit or you're looking at the brake rotors?
Yeah, copper's been really popular, but man, oil slick still remains king.
It's the king still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think for like people that don't want to oil slick cassette and pedals and a stem, it's just that little bit of a hint of like, yeah, my bike has titanium on it. Most people see oil slick and they're like, they think tie. So that's still
nice.
really popular. And then silver has just made a huge comeback in the last year. So that's been awesome.
Yeah, and that was like one of the first questions tonight was about the silver on the levers. What would you say the most popular color is in the brake levers on the Freedom Coast side?
That champagne gold has been the most popular, and then just that raw polished silver. We've kind of had
Oh,
that the longest. We were also very surprised of like black sold really well, and then once we launched that stealth gray, that really started to outsell black. So that was cool to see.
yeah. Yeah, that stealth gray was cool. And what did you call the color was that the one, the bass boat color with all the
Metallic flake,
metallic
bass
flake?
boat, you know,
Yeah, that
big
thing was
color. So
that thing was pretty sick. Which one is the one that surprised you that it's like grabbing on and people are buying?
the teal on the Better Bolt side was really
Oh,
surprising to me. Um,
yeah.
yeah, on the Freedom Coast side, like orange didn't it sold really well at first and then kind of tapered off. We thought red would do a little bit better. Blue sold really well. Yeah, I swear it goes with the bikes that are coming out at that time as well. Um, like all the bike brands are kind of going a little bit different with colors, and I think it drives different sales for us. So
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, when you say teal, I'm thinking automatically like the Capras that came in the teal or Yeti bikes,
yes.
that came in there. As far and I'm sure you probably have this data, but as far as bike brands, people who own different bike brands, what seems to be the biggest bike brand that people are upgrading with bolts?
Specialized. I mean, mainly because there's so many specialized out there, and then there's so many bolts that we can offer. So I'd say specialized, and then Santa Cruz is next in line. Everybody that has a Santa Cruz seems to really deck it out. So
Dang, wow, that's cool. I was gonna guess Santa Cruz, thinking that that might be the number one thing. And then again, they start with the brake rotor, bolts, stem cap mainly, and then branch out from there.
yep, yeah, just kind of anywhere that we saw that we weren't making bolts, and we really listened to our customers there and continued to kind of crank that out. So whatever people ask for, we put on a list and try to check it off every product, monthly product meeting.
Dude, that's so fun. That's so cool. And now when we're looking at where Better Bolts is now, where Freedom Coast is now, you have all your products, everything's in stock. You guys are ready for the whole Black Friday sales event that's going to be going down. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the things that are just around the horizon, some things that we can look forward to as far as release on top of what you have?
Yeah, on the Better Bolt side, definitely more top caps. And then on the Freedom Coast side, kind of collabing with Better Bolts will be brake adapters. I think Carter gave you guys a quick tour on those.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about those a little bit to kind of pepper the taste buds for people out there.
Yeah. Is my internet a little spotty? I want to make sure I wasn't jumping around. I could jump on a hot spot or something.
No, you look good.
No,
Looks good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry. What was the question again?
On the breaks, the new stuff coming out on the horizon. Can you kind of pepper it out there a little bit to give people a bit of a teaser, get their
Yeah.
taste bud going?
So anybody that's upgraded brake rotor size or even brakes has probably ran into the issue of trying to figure out what adapter works best. Oftentimes, when you find that adapter, you get it all lined up perfect, and then you go to do that final tighten, and all of a sudden the product turns,
You're like,
or
damn
you're
it.
like, wait, did I just turn this and it switched the whole thing? But it's really because those are cast aluminum and they're not flat. So a lot of
Mm,
bike shops, if you ever took one off that was built by a really good bike builder, you'll notice that they sanded them flat.
wow.
So first off, we were talking tolerance. These brake adapters will be perfectly flat to fit, exactly on the frame and have the brake sit perfectly on there. So that'll take
Nice.
away, it'll give you a bigger window. Because if that isn't flat, like, yeah, you can still get them lined up to where they're not rubbing. But if they're flatter, you're going to get a bigger window to look through and get your pad centered on your rotor, which can often be, a difficult task. The other thing is that long bolt, where we love to sell a long bolt that costs a lot of money. We really like the 4 bolt. I'm sure there's some people that have Magura They've gone up to a 220, or even some of their 203s have it where it's 4 bolts instead of a really long bolt and a smaller bolt that puts your caliper here. But those bolts can kind of shift. You have a cup cone washer. It gets confusing whether to go cup cone washer or cone cup. So we really just wanted to switch it to a 4 bolt option. And so what happens is the tolerances with the frame, the first 2 go in, that one's done, set and forget. There's not any adjustment that needs to happen there. And then the top ones go in, and it's just 2 little M6 by 18 bolts. So it makes it super simple. Of the hundreds of installs that we've done in our shop during this prototyping phase, it's been as easy as squeeze the brake, tighten the bolts, release the brake. They're perfect. So we're really excited to make a product that's really improves that for people to where they're not always centering their brakes. I'll tell everybody listening now, it's not you, it's the adapter. And there's certain people say, oh, there's certain bikes that have been so much easier, or there's certain brakes that have been so much easier, but a lot of times it's that adapter that's really causing a lot of issues there.
Interesting.
And then on the really fast side of riders, there are downhill riders that'll say that they can feel flex in those longer bolts. I can't feel that. I wish I was fast enough to feel that, but the 4 bolts help with that as well. So those started as 3D printing, and we kind of sat there and we're like, do we launch this as a Better Bolts product or a Freedom Coast product? And since it's billet aluminum, we really figured it should be a Freedom Coast product, and then have it be with Better Bolts as well. So those adapters will come set with bolts. You don't have to buy an adapter now and figure out what bolts you need. It will come stock with the perfect titanium bolts. And we kind of made a bolt head that was a 0.5 millimeter shorter, because there were a couple calipers that really kind of interfered with that bottom bolt in the 4 bolt setup. So we've been installing a lot of brakes onto those. We have 15 different brake calipers at the shop that we're making sure everything fits perfect. I really didn't know how difficult it would be to make a brake adapter. I don't know if people have noticed, but like on a Fox fork where they put the 2 posts, they're different lengths, but on a SRAM, they're equal. So just us figuring out the equation of where a circle comes around to, and all the tolerances within the rear, the front, and coming up with one adapter that puts it in the perfect spot where you're not shimming things. We really wanted to make sure that we made a product that you don't have to take out of the box and then shim to get it to the perfect spot. But I'm sure anybody that's worked on a bike before that someone else's, maybe you've seen where the pads don't contact the rotor completely, and you start to get like a cavity on there. So we're just trying to make the perfect product that works on a wide variety of people that are upgrading their bikes. So it should be a cool release. We'll have a plus 20, a plus 23, a plus 40, and a plus 43 to start. And then we'll hop into road and gravel from there.
Wow. Also in different colors as well?
All the colors that you see on Better Bolts and Freedom Coast will have on there as well.
Oh, dang. I can think of a Christmas gift for a friend of mine. I don't know if he's in here tonight. Craig, MTB Raging. We were at Greer, and he has Maguras, and he was having an issue a little bit with the finesse, the finickiness of just that. Was it the road? Was it the little washer that was off a little bit? Like it was rubbing a little bit. So if it comes out in time, Craig, I already know what your birthday gift is, or your Christmas gift is.
He's in here tonight. He just showed up.
Is he? What's up, Craig? I was just talking about you, man. He said, and then this is another one too we can actually talk about, because this is kind of cool. I would be this consumer. Trail Pimp is saying, I love to pimp out my bike. I need a bolt kit. And when I looked at all of the SKUs and all of the colors, and here I am with my YT decoy, I'm like, man, I don't even know where to start. I don't know which bolts I should turn to titanium and color or not. But with you, with all your experience, I'm sure 2 things. One is, if somebody like me showed up and was like, I have no clue what to upgrade, but titanium is lighter and stronger, I know I need to do this. How do I even start? What would I do?
So that's kind of what sets us apart from other brands that do offer titanium bolts, is our support team of riders. So what you do is you reach out to support@betterbolts.com and you say, I need a kit for my decoy. and we'll send back a response that says, please send them make, year, and model and these 8 photos of your bike. You send those photos, you let us know the color bolts that you want, the invoice will come. If if it's too expensive, or maybe you don't want to do the rotor bolts or the stem bolts, or a particular area to save a little bit of money, you can edit that invoice, bring it down to a number that you're comfortable with, and then we ship that order. And it can come in a little container. We sell Loctite, we sell anti-seize as well, and it all kind of comes in this little bolt pack. And what we see a lot of people do is they take out a bolt, they go look in the bolt pack, they see the exact match, and they put that bolt into the new bike, and then they put the old bolt back into the container, and then that bolt is in their toolbox with them, forever. They can keep this container, and it's kind of like a safety kit if you're on a riding trip. Just bring that it's like a second set of bolts for your entire bike. If something rattled loose or something along those lines, you have a full backup plan.
Oh, interesting. And then as far as taking the pictures and sending them to you, is that for like tolerance purposes when people start adding things to their bike that maybe not OEM, and that way you guys know for sure exactly what
Yeah.
to put in that
So
spot?
a lot of it has to do with like the caliper bolts. We know what to send. If we see a photo from the side, okay, you don't need 20 millimeter bolts. You need a 35 and a 40 if you're running this adapter. So we can just see it and know. If you looked at a Renthal stem versus a BergTech stem and you didn't know bolts, you'd be like, okay, these are the same. These are the same bolts. They're M5 by 15 with a capped head. But if you ordered an M5 by 15 with a capped head from anywhere, it would not fit in your BergTech stem because their engineer made the hole smaller that the bolt head needs to fit into. It's 7.7 millimeters, not 8.5 millimeters.
Wow.
So we have machined particular hardware for every different popular stem on the market. So when we see in your photo that you have a Yoshimura stem or an I9 stem or a Deity stem, you don't have to go figure out what stem bolts you need. We're just going to send the proper bolts for your stem. It's the same thing with like all the matchmaker hardware. There's all these different ways to match matchmaker hardware. So on our website for SRAM Matchmaker, we have like a photo of each one, but with the custom kits that we can put together for people, we'll see, from the rider's view, the cockpit, and we'll know exactly what to send for each bike. And this is at zero cost. So we even have an item in our store it's like $275. It's the Works kit. So you can go on and buy that, and then we reach out to you. And if your kit's above there, we invoice you for the additional amount. Typically, it's below that $275. We build the kit for you. We refund the difference to you, and we ship that out. So, but you don't have to buy that kit. You can just reach out to support@betterbolts.com. We'll build it out free of charge. If you decide not to buy it, or you decide to buy it in 3 months, the invoice will be there ready to go. Once you pay the order, that comes into the system and ships within a day.
Wow, that's pretty neat. Yeah, that's probably where I would go because I would not know where to start. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the box that would come. Look at that. I'll pull this down for the folks that are here with us live. Joey's got the Better Bolts kit up there right now.
Yeah, and then when it comes to installing, like that can be another barrier to entry. There's a ton of shops that we work with. So if you also say like, hey, I need to get this installed, let us know your zip code and we can go ahead and recommend a shop that could be great at installing that. Or we can give you kind of tips and tricks. We have some YouTube videos on how to install stem bolts. We sell tools on our website that we use around the shop and trust. A couple BergTech wrenches that we really like, some torque wrenches. We have one on our site that's 3 Newton meters to 15 Newton meters, which is an awesome range. You don't need 2 torque wrenches.
Right.
You can do most of your pivot and linkage. You can do grip bolts if you're torquing down grip bolts, or you could do axles. So really nice to see a tool on our website that we trust and we use. We have a variety of those on our website. We have Rad Labs tube lubes as well. Those are an awesome product. So we sell a couple products that aren't ours on the website.
Wow, that's so cool, man. Yeah, the shop was awesome. Joey was noticing everything. He's like, how did you just how you guys have it all organized? I'm like, yes, definitely. There were definitely 2 engineers in here because this thing looks like you could do surgery in here. It's like medical grade, like cleanliness and organization. It was amazing. MTV Raging saying, what's up, guys? More blue bits, por favor. More blue bits he's asking for. And then we got Trail Pimp with another super sticker, making it rain. Another $1 from Trail Pimp. Thank you so much. MTB Raging's also saying, thank you for the Magura love. You have a horde of TRP peeps here, which I understand they are, but I'm still a diehard MT7 dude. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we do on the bolt side. We definitely have a lot of Magura products. I got Maguras on this bike right here. Watch it. Sugara setup. Got the Shimano levers with the Magura calipers over here, kind of testing out that setup and seeing what all the rage is there. But we have the pad retention bolts. We have caliper bolts. A bunch of different stuff for Magura on the better bolt side, and hopefully soon on the Freedom Coast side.
Yeah, man. So many good things. Thomas, before we let you go from the show, is there anything that we haven't covered that you wanted to make sure we shared with the folks in the audience?
Just that our doors are open. You know, we're typically, we all kind of work a little bit different schedules, but 8 to 3, you know, Pacific time in Rancho Santa Margarita. If you're riding Aliso or San Clemente or Waterworks, the Luge, you know, anywhere in South Orange County, it's definitely worth it to come on by. Even if you're not going to buy anything, it's just kind of cool to see the machines run. We love talking to customers and potential customers, and yeah, our doors are open. So shoot us an email, set up a time to come in, and we'll make sure to have somebody available to kind of show you around. And we can do installs as well. So if you're, you know, not sure where to send your bolts to and you want to just bring your bike by, we can set up a time to install bolts, install levers, or install our racks onto your vehicles as well.
Yeah. Joey was pointing to himself. Joey actually did an install today. He got the levers in after Carter taught him how to do it. You did yours, your lever in like 6 minutes.
Yeah, like 6 minutes, and then I did yours, and we lost all kinds of parts.
I think
we had a bolt bounce away.
Install went.
We were in the perfect place for losing a bolt, though.
Yeah. We were good. I was trying to get you a new like oil slick one or something, but yeah, I guess that one doesn't come in oil slick.
But if that part wouldn't have fallen off of the bike, you probably would have had that installed in 3 minutes. Now that
I bet you could do it. Once you know how to do it, I bet you could do it in 3, 5 at the very most.
Yeah, we're talking about the brake levers that we switched out today from the stock ones to the Freedom Coast ones, and they were awesome. Thomas, as far as like looking at the bike, now you've been doing this for 5 years, having the titanium bolts. What would you say for somebody who's like, I don't know, should I look at upgrading my bolts? And they're maybe not a color person, but maybe it's like a weight or a safety thing. Is there a bolt that you recognize on most bikes that you would say I would just start with that?
Yeah, I think just like a rotor bolt, a good trusted rotor bolt is really important, and making sure that it's installed to torque and that it's Loctited as well. So we have an awesome Loctite product that we sell on our site. Just, you know, a lot of people just kind of throw those in, and you know, maybe you've had one go missing before. Just high tolerance bolt on your rotors, I think is just a really good place to start, whether it's you're adding a color or not. It's a really kind of a, you know, gateway for getting into it. So I always recommend rotor bolts.
Nice. What an important piece too. Something confidence inspiring that you can set it and just forget it. You know, it's on there. Nothing's going to happen to it. Titanium, folks. This is awesome. Thomas, where can people go to purchase these? What websites do you guys have out there for your products?
Yeah, so it's betterbolts.com for purchasing on Betterbolts, and support at betterbolts.com if you need to get a hold of us, or you can DM us on Instagram. On the Freedom Coast side, it's Freedom Coast Cycling on Instagram, freedomcoast.net on the web, and you can DM us there as well. And it's info@freedomcoast.net for getting a hold of us. So.
Nice. And for the folks that are on here live, as we head into the holidays, the Black Friday is coming up and people are looking for deals. Do you guys have anything that's going to, now we know everything's in stock, which is great because looking at the stock in the past, there were some things that had been sold out. So for the folks that are wondering, you guys have full choice now. But heading to the holidays, are you guys having any discounts going on over there?
Yeah, so our sale starts tomorrow and runs through Cyber Monday. Better Bolts will be 20% off and Freedom Coast will be 15% off. And that pre-sale on the rack will be $50 off per rack.
Ooh, that rack is good. And I know everyone's going to ask me, if I don't ask this question, they're going to ask me, why didn't you ask that? Is there a bike hitch rack coming out from you guys?
Yes, that Delta rack will evolve into a hitch rack. We're just kind of slow playing that. We see a lot of hitch racks on the market. We want to make something different for core cyclists, a single, a double, and really make sure that it's a perfect product and we're not launching a prototype out to public. So you guys kind of saw the first iteration of that today and how the Delta rack that we are just releasing holds a wheel and holds it really, really well. Just a single wheel. Most racks pinch things in or pinch things down. This one really grabs each wheel independently. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like a full-on triangle lock. Like it,
yeah,
yeah.
look out for that.
Delta. That makes sense.
2024.
2024, baby. And I do love the fact that, for example, not a comparison, but just I have a one up right now. And one of the things that I realize is that the track where the arm swings over to the tire, it's got teeth on it. And the one thing I noticed about your guys' rack is that it's all tension, no teeth. It's just smooth. And
Yeah, that
and
was
and I
one of the coolest things when Chris first machined the rack. I was like, what is this? What does this actuate on? And yeah, it's a friction lock. It's a 70-75 piece of aluminum, so it doesn't get any like grooves in it. So it's an expensive piece of material, but it's worth it to not have teeth on there. It's a non-wear part, and we kind of showed you guys today as the tire deflates. If you were to have a slow leak, the rack just gets tighter, which is awesome.
Man, you guys think of everything over there. That is cool. Yeah, I am definitely can't wait for the bike hitch system in 2024. For the folks that are looking at a solution right now for your van builds out, they have those right now and in stock. Brake levers, if you're looking to decrease your arm pump and get more comfortable on that, you got your 12 millimeter drop or closer to the bar with your brake levers there. And obviously all the titanium bolts you could imagine. We had to keep an eye on Joey. He was a kid in the candy store today. He was just had his hands in everything. But for the folks that are tuning in, thank you all so much for joining us. This has been episode 133 with Thomas Seaman of Better Bolts and Freedom Coast. Check him out there as you guys are looking for upgrades or looking to change things on your bike. And if you're not sure, definitely start with the brake rotors. That is something that you want to make sure is on tight so you can set it and forget it. Why not have titanium on there that's strong and light versus going, hey, what happened? What happened to me? My rotors, they fell off. But this has been episode 133. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you guys all at the top. Good night.